Alrighty, let's see. Currently on, or in 28th place right now in the competition, just checked. We're approaching my targets that I had set for my long, but I closed my long last night. I kept tightening my stop loss so that I wouldn't have to sleep on the trade. And we took most of our profit around 73.25. So we captured pretty much the entire move. It was a really good trade. I am looking for a push up towards like 73.50 to 73.80. It looks like it's going to fail. It's going to push upward and then probably fail that zone. So that's what we're looking. Probably going to take a short around that area for the competition. I'll pull it up here on stream. Hey Nader, what's going on? Funny thing, you just came by. So this is exactly why I haven't done my exocharts video yet. They just completely revamped the system. They completely just changed the system. So if I would have made my video already, they basically just completely upgraded the system and my video would already be outdated. You can see here, there's a completely different look. You can do templates, you can do different styles. He's added in a bunch of different things that you can play with, like Delta Ladder. Couple of other things. This is the current setup that I'm currently using. I changed the colors a little bit. It's actually really eye-appealing, I think. It looks a lot better, I think. My volume profile's got a nice little gradient to it. I got a little DOM going. I lowered how many levels that I'm currently looking at. I think this is a lot more eye-appealing, and it's easier to trade. So right now I'm currently using a delta ladder, which it basically shows the delta on the candles. So green is for buy delta, red is for sell delta, the yellow is POC, and the blue lines are the value areas. And then everything else is pretty standard. I'm currently only looking at volume, delta, and CVD on the footprint stats. He also changed how you can pull up whichever ones you want on there. I'm not looking at the candle stats anymore. I think it clouds the chart a little bit. You can see here, it kind of just clouds it a little bit, so not looking at those. You can just see those stats down here. But yeah, that's my current setup. This is the current price action we're looking at for Bitcoin. We had a nice little range high back here, range low. Regained, or acting as support here on the range low, failed downward, regained it instantly. You had a Quasimodo buy signal here, and then you had a break of the range high, another buy signal there, and now we're heading towards this inefficiency. This would be your targets for a long. This was where my targets were. If you guys are in the Discord, I'll pull up one of the screenshots. So this was our trade here last night. I was looking to sell this push up. It tapped two of my sell orders. It did not get to 73.50, and then it started failing downward. So we missed that. We missed that sell. 73.51 is the high currently on Interdax, so I could have got filled on 73.51, but we did pull back and hit our stop loss. So we closed our competition trade. We're currently up 10%. I'm in 28th place. Top 20 gets paid, so we're on a good track. We got 4 days left. If I get one or two more winning trades, we should be in the top 20. I bought a essential oil diffuser for my room. I also bought a Amazon Echo. So Big Brother is now in my room. Big Brother as in the government and Amazon, basically. I currently am using, I think, like peppermint and something else in the eucalyptus in the diffusers. Actually quite nice. It feels like it's pretty smoothing on the, or soothing on the, on my throat. Especially when I talk a lot on stream and whatnot. Feels like I can breathe a lot better. It's kind of like a humidifier slash diffuser. I'm going to be talking about what we're going to be doing with stocks and stuff for 2020 in a little bit. I won't be trading options for a little while. I'm going to take a break on options. I've been consistently getting wrecked on options. I feel like I'm not putting enough time into it. I'm not paying enough attention to the contracts. I'm not managing my trades properly. So I'm going to take a break on options. We're going to go back to what I'm good at, just picking stocks and building portfolios and whatnot. All of my lotto contracts that I traded last week, they expired worthless. So we took a little bit of a loss, lost about 10% of my account last week. So pretty big loss. I think it's like the biggest loss in 1 week on my options account that I've had. It's not a whole lot of money compared to my crypto accounts, but it's still a pretty decent loss that I shouldn't have allowed to happen. But you win some, you lose some. You got to learn from your mistakes. But I'm going to take a break from options. We're going to go back to building portfolios and trading just individual stocks. So tomorrow, we're going to do more of this tomorrow because we have a lot longer stream tomorrow. Probably stream for like 4 hours or so. But tomorrow, I want to do a little bit of fundamental analysis and look into like sectors and whatnot. I want to look into what stock sectors that I think are going to perform well in 2020. Probably like pharmaceuticals, energy, maybe even consumer goods, stuff like that. We're going to see which sector we really want to pay attention to. And we're going to look for ETFs and individual stocks, maybe some low caps, maybe some blue chips. And we're going to build a portfolio with a little bit of a mix of high risk, low risk ETF stocks, whatnot. So that will be mainly tomorrow. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you stop by tomorrow. Probably be about a 4-hour stream. A little bit of analysis in the beginning and then building a portfolio in the afternoon. Looks like Bitcoin's currently struggling on this high just as expected. I wish it would push up one more time. We haven't even tested this doji yet. I really wanted to push into this doji. But you can see we're right on the daily trail. So it is struggling to kind of get above this daily trail. You do see a very strong resistance coming in on the Renko. You can see the Auto SR put in a resistance. We're currently testing it. You do have a pretty big bear div coming in. Flat top bear div. And we are seeing a decrease in momentum. So if this bear div does play out, you probably will see a pullback towards this support, probably around 72.60, maybe even the resistance around 72.40. But I'm looking for one more kind of like push up, maybe towards like this pivot, towards this resistance here, and then fail downward. That's the goal here for our competition trade. But if it starts to fail a little early, we might miss this trade. You can see the 1 hour has a bear div forming, just as the Renko does. So you want to keep an eye on that. You can see the daily profile shows inefficiency above, what is that, 73.15. If we get back below 73.15, most likely testing 72.80 towards this lower support, probably around 7,300. Pull up the volume here. Not seeing any buyers come in towards this high, which is basically what we want to see. I do want to see one little spike of buyers, and then you want to see the sellers nuke it. And that's a good short signal there. Stop loss above the inefficiency, and then targeting the previous range. That is the goal. Let's see. It'd be about something like this. 0.5% stop loss, about 2% overall target. So about a 4-to-1 trade. What are you guys looking at here? You guys agree with my analysis? You guys think we're going to fail on this inefficiency, or do you think it's going to SR flip and continue higher? The 4 hour is still not above the 200 EMA. We did just get a trail flip towards the bull side. So you do have a little bit of momentum coming in towards the bulls, but not a whole lot. Really no volume to really back the shift. You can see these buy signals on the 1 hour were picture perfect. You could have bought both those dips on the little failure wicks downward. You would have got damn near a perfect entry on both of them. We are currently approaching that pivot, which is exactly where that level is that I marked. You can see that level is the exact same level as the indicator caught. Just need one more little push. Weekly POC, monthly POC, still pretty far below us, 7,200. Daily POC at 7,285. So we are seeing a little bit of a push up here. You can see, using my current setup, when you see these little sell deltas towards the bottom of these wicks, those are basically sellers being trapped. So you had that failure wick downward, you had those sellers getting trapped, and then they got pushed up, and they basically lost their trade. Same thing with the buyers here. You see that buy delta towards the high, and then it gets nuked. Those buyers basically got trapped. These buyers are really good. So this is something that's very bullish when you see that wick downward, and then you see that buy delta start to come in. It shows you that the buyers are willing to buy that dip. So if you were trading this live and you started to see a strong buy delta like we saw here towards the bottom of the wick, that's showing you that buyers are willing to buy that that failure downward. So that is a good indication that price does want to rise because the market does want to buy the dips. I'm debating on whether if I want to put my orders in or if I want to wait to see how it plays out. I think I need to be aggressive here for the competition. If this was a normal trade, I probably wouldn't be so aggressive. But for the competition, I think I need to be a little aggressive here. The guy in first place got wrecked overnight. He was up almost 500%, and now he's only up 427. So he's still very, very, very far ahead of everybody else. He is still easily in first place. But, like I said in Discord, if I was him, I would have just stopped trading. Just guarantee your win, basically. Unless the guy in, like, second, third, fourth, or fifth just goes super degen, I don't see them beating him. There's only 4 days left. He was up almost 500%. I don't see people beating him. Whoever wins this competition is going to have like the most payouts on this website. So they will be like the #1 prize winner. Because this competition, first place pays out 1 Bitcoin. I haven't seen anybody with over a Bitcoin prize winnings. If you guys are talking in Twitch chat, I can't see Twitch chat, so either you guys are being quiet or my Twitch chat's broken. I do apologize. I can see YouTube chat, so if you guys are talking in YouTube, I do see you. This Avanada guy that I was talking about, or Avada guy. He'll have some pretty high winnings too. He's already at 0.77 before this competition, and he's about to win another 0.03, 0.05, depending on where he ends. But he's looking pretty good. You can see here, his winnings are already almost a Bitcoin. This guy, this is this guy's first competition, and he's very far ahead of everybody else. I'm currently down here, 28th place. I'm only up 10%. Still not bad, 28th place out of like 300 people. But we got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. I've only traded 4 times. I've been pretty busy. I haven't even been trading that much lately. I haven't been at my house as much as I'd like to be. But like I said, it's a holiday competition, so it's a weird timing for it. A little bit of buyers getting trapped here. POC is at the top of the candle, which is not good for buyers. You can see typically when the POCs are the top of the candle, when you see this kind of range distribution, it's usually because the sellers are pushing the price down. So you see the POCs up here with the slight buy delta, but then you get pushed down pretty hard. Same thing on this candle, you got pushed down on the next candle. Because you're at the top of a distribution. So your POC being at the top is usually because of the sellers. Come on, Bitcoin, give us one more pop here. This is a pretty old chart. Let me delete these. Let's go back. Very beautiful rounded bottom here. Basically an Adam and Eve, but it's kind of inverse. It's like Eve Adam. Rounded bottom into a V bottom. Typically Adam Eve, you'll see a V and then a rounded. But same thing here, you kind of have that range. You have that spike in efficiency here, which is currently being tested. And then you have your little Quasimodo kind of buy signal. You break the range high there. This becomes a deviation, which I tell you guys about when you're using like accumulation distribution techniques. You have your range, deviation, regain of your range. You could have bought the pullback here, or you could have bought the Quasimodo breakout there. And then you have the push towards your inefficiency. This is exactly what we're looking for on Bitcoin. Let me actually mark this here. We have kind of our deviation here. Range low. You got your range high here. Quasimodo. And then you have your inefficiency test here. Let me actually mark this here as well. Sorry, I just wanted to post that in Discord. It's a really clean example of what we're looking at here on Bitcoin. Ethereum leading Bitcoin yet again. Problem is Bitcoin is not testing its inefficiency here. So, same exact thing. You can see any of these candles, you could have taken your regain, and then you have your Quasimodo breakout here. You can see, look at Ethereum leading here. Same exact thing. Range, 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 range. Pop up, inefficiency, failure, deviation. Inefficiency, failure, deviation. Regain your range, Quasimodo breakout, inefficiency test. Regain your range, Quasimodo breakout. You're not testing your inefficiency here. Ethereum is already starting to pull back. You would target the range high, range low. You could even target kind of your distribution right here. Looks like Bitcoin's going to fail early because Ethereum is leading. Let me pull up Twitch chat over here. Make sure you guys aren't talking because I can't see your messages. Can somebody type in Twitch chat? Give me a little test. Okay, no, I can see your messages. Alright. Appreciate that, Tyrannosaurus. Hockey, appreciate that. Gringo, thank you. Making sure I can see it. Let's watch how Ethereum plays out here, because Ethereum is leading. Ethereum is leading. Is inefficiency just resistance? It's a very specific kind of resistance. I talk about it in my videos. If you watch how to trade point of origin dojis or how to find and trade key support and resistance levels, I talk about it in those videos. It's a little too complicated to get into for today, but if you watch those videos, I go more in depth. Sorry, I'm trying to post this on Twitter. I'm trying to provide a little bit more content on Twitter lately. So just a basic, like, trying to figure out how to put this in like to one or two sentences. So like what an inefficiency like point of origin doji shows you is that, so either you can have like a kind of a slow grind up, or you could have like a spike up like we see here. But then you see like a couple of wicks and you see a doji kind of on that high, right? So you can see your grind up, and then you see like the doji, and then you see your failure downward, and then you kind of start into a downtrend, right? And then you have kind of this level right here, like we see here, that hasn't been tested yet. So we're kind of downtrending. Right, let me go to like a cleaner part of the chart here. So you kind of have like your uptrend, right? And then you have like a doji. And you have kind of like some wicks up here. Maybe even like a really long wick. And then you start to downtrend. So you kind of have like your evening star, whatever you want to call it. So like this little area up here, this inefficiency, you haven't been tested yet, right? It's just waiting to be tested. So when you're downtrending and you start to kind of reverse to an uptrend, like we see here, the biggest target, or like the end goal, if you will, if you're in a long, your end goal is that inefficiency. So as long as you're creating higher lows, you're going to be testing that inefficiency. So like we have higher lows being put in. So as long as you're putting in higher lows, you will be testing the inefficiency eventually, right? So it's basically like a first test style of a trade. So you wait for that regain, and then if it starts to fail downward, you can just take that short off of that supply zone, and then you can fail downward. It's probably about as easy as I can make it. Can you look at ETC USD? It looks like we broke the falling wedge first among other currencies. Let's take a look. ETC BTC. Oh, sorry, ETC USD. Yeah, it looks pretty solid. So another example here. Kind of have like your range low. You could take this as your range high. Or if you wanted a tighter range, you could probably take like something like there, but I wouldn't take that. And then you have kind of your deviation right here. So a little deviation of your range low. Pop up, deviation of your range high. You tried to find support on your range low, failed downward. Flipped it as resistance. So you can see this is your sell signal here. You flipped your range low as resistance. Give you a little bit of a sell signal there. Okay, so we fell downward. Now we're creating a new range, right? So we have our range low. You have your range high. You have your deviation. Little bit of resistance on your range high. And now we're popping up towards our previous range low. So until we regain this as support, it's still pretty bearish. But it does look pretty good here. It looks like you're in a strong uptrend. So I would watch for a regain of that range low. That would be a good place to probably look for a buy entry. So looking at our indicators here, let's take a look. Yeah, so the daily is telling us, the indicators are basically telling us what I just showed you. You have your pivot coming in here, showing a resistance level. You're retesting a previous pivot, which was basically your range low. You have your range high on that pivot. So these pivots are doing almost exactly what I was, or sorry, the indicators. These indicators are doing almost exactly what I was just doing by hand. You can see your pivots as your range. And you have your resistance coming in on a current pivot. So until you regain this orange pivot as a support, I'd be a little careful taking a long. You could wait for the trail to come in closer as a support, and then you could take a long. But right now, you're kind of just distributing. Nice little distribution coming in. You can see your 1 hour pivot giving you that range high. We're currently testing the trail as our support. But yeah, it looks like overall starting into a nice uptrend. But if you didn't get in lower, it's a little scary to get in currently. Probably want to wait for a little bit of a pullback. Either a pullback or a regain. Could probably see a regain up here. I want to see if this tests its inefficiency, because Ethereum did. Ethereum gave you a perfect short signal here. I want to see if Bitcoin will do the same. I'm not going to take a trade on our competition account until we test that inefficiency. There really is no other short here. I mean, I could take a short based on the Renko bear div. That could be a play. You have a Renko resistance being tested here. The problem is, it looks like an ascending triangle. So it looks like it really wants to kind of fake you out here. It wants to break and then fail. So if I took a short here, I feel like I'm getting it a little early and I might get chopped out. Looks like a little bit of a ascending triangle. What do you guys think? You guys think it's going to fail here? Or do you guys think it's going to go for one more move up? Could push up and fail, or it could just fail. It's hard to say, but you are losing momentum. You can see the Momo. You can see the trend on the Momo, the line. You're losing momentum pretty rapidly. So you could short here, but the safer short is here. The test of this high here. Because this resistance has not been tested. You have that inefficiency on Renko as well as on just regular candles. So it's really hard to short here when you're so close to a really good short. This is like a high tier short. This is one of my favorite shorts. So shorting here when you're just so close to a better trade, it's hard. If you guys have been following my channel for a long time, you know that these little trades, these inefficiency trades, are where I've made most of my money. So shorting here is a little out of my playbook. And you can see the sell volume right now is basically nothing. There's little to no volume here. You can see the delta. I can't draw on this. But you can see the delta here is a battle zone for sure. OTS gave 7 buy signals on the 8 hour. I should have bought. Did it really? Let's take a look. That's funny. 7 buy signals. Yeah, you're not wrong. It did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's hilarious. Every single one of those was a really good scalping opportunity. If you bought 1, 2, 3, 4... If you bought any of these 5 signals here, you could have caught that wick for about 3.6%. And then if you bought this one or this one, you could have caught this move for about 2.4. Yeah, the OTS signals are really strong. Look at this short signal here. That one's really strong. This one gave you a nice little scalp. This one gave you a massive trade. These buy signals got chopped out. This one gave you a massive trade. If you took that sell signal there, you had 0 drawdown. Massive potential. The OTS is a really clean indicator. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think it suits pretty much any trader. I think you could put it into your system. Just about any trading style. Hell, like I said, we didn't even test it on Renko because none of us are Renko traders. And then we started testing it. I started building a strategy with it a few months ago. And then I had other people like Dime and a few other traders playing with it on Renko. And they sent me a bunch of messages telling me like, hey, this is pretty solid on Renko. You should take a look at it. And now we're more heavily testing it on Renko as well. Just waiting on that one more trade here. The number one guy is short. Everybody else in the top 10 is pretty much long. You have one other guy shorting here. You have 4 people longing. 5 if you include the guy. This guy got wrecked. This guy was in 2nd place, I think, yesterday. He was in like 2nd or 3rd place. He got wrecked. We've moved up a lot. I was in like 70th. Now I'm 28th. We got a long way to go to make top 20. Comfortably, I'd like to be up like 40 or 50%. So we have about 40% to go. I'm going to need like 2 big wins or maybe 3 big wins. I'm going to have to start forcing trades here soon because we only have 4 days left. So I'm going to have to start forcing trades. Which is never a good thing for like real trading, but for competition trading, it's worth a shot. Alright, it's a little boring, guys. Not a whole lot to talk about here. There's not a lot of price action going on. We're just kind of getting a little bit of distribution here. Trying to push higher, but the bear divs are getting pretty strong. If you guys are using our 3-day VWAP indicator, very, very solid trades over the past few days. You can see that 3-day VWAP. Let me close my other indicators here. You can see that 3-day VWAP closed right here. You had that perfect test, failure, bounce up here, failure again, and now we're pushing downward. Popped up to this 3-day VWAP, failed downward, bounced off of VWAP, and now we're riding that upper band, which is a strong uptrend, but we are currently seeing a bear div not only on the band, but on the Momo as well. So you can see how we exited the band here, but then we're not able to even exit the band here. So you get a slight bear div along with the bear div on the Momo here. This indicator is free to all of our members. So if you guys are in Discord, if you guys haven't gotten access to this, just make sure you private message me. We have about 5 free indicators for our Discord members. This is probably the strongest one. What is the OTS trail based on? Something proprietary? It's not fully proprietary, no. But I can't really say what it's based on. The trail is probably the least proprietary of the indicator. The pivots are like the most proprietary. The candle colors are like somewhere in the middle. And then the trail is probably the least. The pivots are like 100% proprietary for the most part. Come on, man. Give us that one more push-up. You could short here, like I said. Looking at the daily volume profile, you have a balanced volume profile, so you're seeing that push towards the inefficiency zone, or kind of above the value area high. You're not seeing a whole lot of volume. You don't see any buy pressure. So basically just an inefficiency failure on volume profile. You could short the exit above the value area high, and then target a regain of the POC. So you could short up here, target 72.85, but it's just not a clean enough trade for me to go like 10x leverage on my competition account. I'm looking for a better trade. VWAP is really flat along with that balanced profile, so you could easily be looking for a new range. Once you form that kind of balanced volume profile and you show some signs of buy pressure or sell pressure in whatever direction that pressure is going, you typically want to look for a new zone. It's the basic understanding of like auction theory. You balance out, you look for a new range. Balance out, look for a new range. Volume is so incredibly low. Look at this volume in the past 2-3 hours. This always happens when we're streaming. Little to no volume. The pivots are great. Yeah, the pivots, I can't talk about how they're determined, but it was kind of like a happy accident. Like I was playing around with a few different things, and then I was like, whoa, hold on, wait a second. And then I saw something, and then I just kind of built on that thing that I saw. It was kind of a happy accident. Come on, give us some volume. See, like looking back at this on the daily, like I was telling you guys earlier, if you see that kind of strong buy delta towards the high, it's indicating that those buyers are trapped. So basically what happened here is you saw this really strong engulfing candle in the daily here, and then this day's candle tried to push higher. So you saw a massive buy delta, but then you saw the sellers come in and the price came back down. So if you see that buy delta, and then you see it taken, so like once price goes up and then comes back down, once it's taken, so like say once we got below 75, these buyers are all trapped. So once those buyers are trapped, if I pull on the liquidations here, no, it's not showing them on the daily for some reason. I'm not sure why it's not showing it, but typically when you see buyers getting trapped like this, you're going to see a lot of liquidations if the price quickly retraces. So once you went from like 75 down to like 70, 50, a lot of those guys probably got liquidated because they were getting trapped. A good example here, you have the sellers being trapped. So you see that massive sell-off, and then you see that buy delta come in. So once the price kind of wicks downward and retraces, say back above like 68.60, all those guys are trapped. And then you push higher, and they're all getting wrecked. You can't see it too much on a weekly. You have a little bit of trapped buyers here that got nuked. Not a whole lot, though. The weeklies are usually more efficient. Looks like Bitcoin's getting sold off here. It will suck if this thing nukes, because I really wanted to test this zone here so I can short it. Looks like we might not get it though. What's Ethereum doing? It sucks we can't trade Ethereum on the competition, because Ethereum would be a good short. Ethereum gave you basically a picture perfect short. It's already almost down 1% from the high. Let's take a look at some of our stocks that we have playing. This inverse head and shoulders is so clean on APHA. Where is that tool? Here it is. So if we see that, not sure why it's not letting me grab that. If we see that price retrace and break 545, we could see a really nice gain towards this inefficiency up here, around $7. That's going to be my overall target for the beginning of 2020, so that's what I'm watching. Hopefully it has good earnings. If it has bad earnings, probably not going to play out the way we want it. But for right now, not too bad. You can see that regain right down here of that previous range. Quite beautiful. You do have a little bit of a downtrend coming back from the previous highs. Let's go to a log chart. You can pretty much see how it's reacting to these levels. Which then again, if we break the inverse head and shoulders to the upside, we will be breaking this downtrend. So it will be a picture perfect bottom reversal pattern. So keep an eye on that. APHA, it's a marijuana stock, so if marijuana stocks do well in 2020, it should be one of the big time players. They have a lot of good stuff going for them compared to the other marijuana stocks. CGC is another one that's looking really good. Same thing, inverse head and shoulders, getting ready to break a downtrend. Looks really solid for a nice gain in 2020. Keep your eye on that as well. Uber's starting to try to retrace, but not looking too great. Kind of looks like a bear flag. These other ones that we were watching are performing quite well. We called out DNR, just went on a rampage. VSLR still climbing. Viking still climbing. AKS went on a rampage after we called it out. Billy's going up. Basically, everything we called out in Telegram went on a pretty good run. Fitbit here could be a play. If we fill the gap around $6, could be a decent play. They got bought out by Google. I don't know if it hasn't been finalized yet, but Google is trying to buy out Fitbit. You do have a ton of resistance coming in on these, like, this range high, but it does look exceptionally good. If it does get approved for the Google buyout, you could easily see it head back towards like $10. Keep your eye on Fitbit as well. Bitcoin not trying to give us this test here. Another scenario that could play out if we don't see our inefficiency test, it could come down towards the daily POC and then hit the inefficiency. Not likely, though. Not likely. Where's the daily POC? It's at 72.85. I could see that. It's like basically the range low here. So you do have like a distribution low. We could hit that and then bounce. Not very likely, though. That would kind of give you like a head and shoulders vibe. So we would kind of bounce off of support here and then fail downward and then maybe try to pop again and then fail. And that would kind of give you your head and shoulders. That's a stretch, though. That's definitely a stretch. So we are back below the value area high. So like I said, shorting above that value area high, giving you that inefficiency. You could have shorted that play. If you short that play, your target is the daily POC. So you're basically targeting a retest of the norm. A mean reversion is basically what it's called. If you guys are new here, don't forget to hit that follow button. I do stream about 4 to 5 days a week. We have been shifting our schedules a little bit lately. I'm streaming on the weekends now, but I'm not streaming Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. So I will be streaming tomorrow. We're going to have a pretty decent stream tomorrow, probably about 3-4 hours. I'm going to be doing a lot of analysis on stocks, looking into sectors. So we're going to be looking at different sectors as a whole, like healthcare, pharmaceuticals, energy, consumer goods, maybe like oil, stuff like that. We're going to be looking for different ETFs and kind of whatnot to build a portfolio for. the first quarter of 2020. I like building portfolios for the first quarter because it seems like the first quarter usually has pretty strong volatility, especially since we will be having an election next year as well. The election will not be in the first quarter, though. It will be in the final quarter. But we still should see some volatility next year for sure. What I did back when Trump was elected is I went big on emerging markets, and they did very well. I closed for about a 30% profit in the first 3 months. We went big in like Brazil, France, Vietnam. I think we had some India, some China. I think the majority of my plays were Brazil and Vietnam. So that's something we're going to look into for next year as well. Boring price action here. You guys want to take a look at anything? Just throw some tickers in chat. Not a whole lot going on here. Waiting for a play. Is Buddy still atop the leaderboard? Oh, that same guy? Yeah, he's still there. Whoever this guy is. He got wrecked today, though. He was up almost 500% when I went to bed. So he got wrecked today for about 0.01. Which it doesn't even matter because he's so far ahead. He was up like 200% in the first day or two. So he basically... He went probably like 50x on his first trade. And he caught that major move. Where was it? Let me see. Basically, this move. He either caught the short or he caught the long. Or he shorted this. But he caught one of these major moves. And it basically put him up like 200% in one trade. Hey man, if it works, it works. He is... If he continues to be in first place, he's going to get a Bitcoin. So you're risking basically $70 to make a Bitcoin. The odds are pretty fucking good. For him to win. If I had to put my money on someone to win, he's definitely the guy. He could literally stop trading right now and I think he'd win. I don't think anybody's going to get over 400%. I'm just trying to get to like 50%. Top 10, top 15. Let's see, if I get top 15, how much do we make? If we get top 15, you'll make about $200, which isn't bad. $14 gets about $250. 11, 12 gets about almost $300 to $400. And then the top 10 really get a lot. Get like 400 to 1,000. Top 3 get a hell of a lot. Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin, 0.3. So if you're in the top 3, you're making money. This guy's first competition. Yeah, so all the people in the top 3, it's their first competitions. That's funny. Yeah, he could be using an algo. It's very likely. Hey, Badin, what's going on, man? Or Badin. Oh, we got a breakout already? Man, I wish we would have a small breakout and hit this inefficiency, then fail downward, but I don't want it to fail too hard because I'm still long pretty heavy on my main account. But yeah, man, this is pretty boring. We'll see how it reacts to the CME. Oh, excuse me, the CME tomorrow. So basically, my prediction, along with a lot of other people's predictions, came true, where you had that kind of sell-off before the CME closed for its 6-month contract, and then you had the buy-up after the CME opened. Because typically when you see the sell-off before it closes, it buys up on the next day. Very good odds. You have a decent amount of buyers being trapped up here if we do fail downward. You can see these buy deltas coming in that are going to be trapped. CVD is 41 million, so not a really whole lot of buyers to trap here. Delta's only negative 2 million. It's trying to sell off here. The open interest has been quite high lately on Interdax. 140,000. That's really, really fucking low compared to other exchanges. I know that. But on Interdax, I typically see it around like 60,000, 70,000. It's at 140,000 now, so it seems like Interdax is starting to get some more volume. This Christmas competition was probably really big to bring in traders. I'm not sure where all the selling pressure is coming from. All the alts already crashed 90%. Bitcoin 14K, 7K, so a lot of people should be in Tether. I think it's probably just bigger people. Like I know, what was that thing we were talking about on stream the other day? Where it was like a Chinese company. They have hundreds of Bitcoin that they're just selling off. So it's probably like some bigger companies that have a massive amount of Bitcoin that they're just continuing to sell on every single pump they can get. I can't remember what that company was that we were talking about. Somebody in chat mentioned it the other day. They have like a few hundred Bitcoin or maybe even a few thousand. Yeah, looks like we're not gonna get our inefficiency test. Ethereum, perfect short. If you guys saw that short on Ethereum, absolutely beautiful. Look at the volume, though. This candle looks dangerous. Look at the volume. There's little to no volume. BCH had a good pump. I wanted to buy the bottom, but very unpredictable. Let's take a look. Oh, it's hard to see because BCH, all the contracts expired. I can't stand that BitMEX doesn't have perpetual contracts. Was it BCH, BTC? Wow, Jesus, it had a really big pump. I've been calling this out for quite some time now. The bull div it had. I can't show you my chart because, well, actually I probably could pull it up. What is it? BCHZ? Or what was BCH? Z19, wasn't it? That's not gonna show it. BCH. That sucks. What was the contract that just expired? I think it was BCHZ. If it's not showing it, it's not there. But yeah, it had a massive bull div. You can actually see it here. There's another bull div here, but we were looking at like a weekly bull div. Pretty big bull div on the Momo, and then boom. You can see right when we flipped that trail, the trail flipped from red to green, and massive move up there. You can see that previous pivot there and there. Perfect price ceiling. You see these pivots? You have a pivot there. You have a pivot there as well. Beautiful. Bull div on the Momo, regain pivot, flip bullish on the trail, and then massive move up. Perfect trades. POC starting to break down here. You can see the past 3 hours you've had a slight rise in POC, but now this current hour you're getting that failure. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. If you include this one, 5. If you include this one, 6. You have 6 wicks above this kind of 73.30 range. Complete inefficiency. Renko hitting resistance to the dollar and then failing downward. Dash also had some bounce. Dash is like, I would never touch Dash, dude. That thing is so ridiculous. It's down like 90% or something. I don't bother trading shit coins. It's funny, when I stopped trading shit coins and just started focusing on Bitcoin and Ethereum, I consistently was profitable. It was so much easier to focus on making money trading just Bitcoin and Ethereum instead of searching the market for all these shit coins and trying to find these bounces. I stopped trading shit coins, started focusing on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you can see just in the monthly reports, it's consistently profitable since we stopped trading those shit coins. So, fuck the shit coins, man. You can make money trading just Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can make money just trading Bitcoin or Ethereum. You don't even have to trade both. You might have to be a little bit more patient, find the right setups and whatnot, but it's better than getting fucking destroyed by 90% failures and just bleeding to death on all these shit coins. Yeah, I think once the masternodes started to fail on Dash, probably everybody started to jump ship. That was like the biggest selling point of Dash were the masternodes. At one point it had like the most masternodes out of all coins, I'm pretty sure. But alright guys, it's getting pretty boring here. Not a whole lot to do. I'm going to call it on stream today. Tomorrow we will be streaming for longer, probably about 3 to 4 hours. I'm going to be doing a lot of analysis on stocks tomorrow, looking at different sectors and whatnot, like I said earlier. So if you guys want to see some stock analysis and come for the weekly close on Bitcoin, make sure to stop by tomorrow. We'll probably be streaming around 3 to 4 p.m., probably about the same time that we started today. Our Christmas sale did end on the website, so everybody got involved in that. I do appreciate you guys. We'll probably have some sales later in the future. We'll probably also do a little bit of flash sales here and there on like Telegram and whatnot. So if you guys are new here, make sure to hit that follow button. If you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also check out my How to Trade series on YouTube if you're looking to learn how to trade. We also have a free trading course on our website. A ton of free content on my Twitter and YouTube as well. So, alright guys. Appreciate you guys being here, as always. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out, guys.